The following program was made possible thanks to the generous support of our Kickstarter backers.
Well, first Holmes was born, then he got tubular and radical, yeah.
Sup, Holmes?
Beware your host! Got him, man! Oh!
It's pandemonium! It's a Christmas crazy miracle with Luc Bernard, straight from Starbucks, where there's a lot of hip-hop or jazz going on behind you, Luke. What's going on?
I think I don't know what it is, honestly. I really don't know. It's not making me happy. I think somebody's going to yell at me after a while for being so loud. They really are going to be like, what are you doing in here?
Well, there's something else.
What happened? Did something crash now?
Oh, I actually, there's a mistake I made. As usual, everything's fine. Luc Bernard is here. Well, yeah, I'm filled with chaos. How are you?
I'm good apart from being at Starbucks.
You live in California now? Is that right?
I'm confused where I live. I'm right by coastal, which means I'm really confused.
Yeah, I would imagine. 3-hour time difference. Last time we talked, I think you were in
Atlanta.
Atlanta, my mistake. Were you in New York? But regardless, you're an international man of mystery. You're traveling the world, traveling.
No, I'm more like a confused man who doesn't know where he wants to live, I think.
Well, you're doing so much stuff. You were most recently at the PlayStation Experience, and thank you again. I didn't forget that you helped give away a PlayStation TV, just kind of for the heck of it. You don't work for Sony.
Yeah, I still need the address of the winner.
Okay. Good to know. Good to get an update. I will ask our community manager, Andy Dixon, about that at destructaway.com.
Because they might be like, well, why isn't it there yet? And I'm like, I don't have the address.
You're pretty intimately connected with PlayStation TV at this point? Is that about right?
Intimately? It sounds like I'm sex with PlayStation TV, put it that way.
Well, it's you were talking to, last time we talked about it, it sounded like PlayStation TV was basically the Luc Bernard console.
Well, yeah, I actually proposed to them making one with my face on it, but that didn't go too well. I mean, I think it'd increase the sales by like maybe 300%.
It could. I don't know how it's selling. I was always really excited about the PlayStation TV, particularly when it was excited as just the Vita TV in Japan. But here in the United States, it's Vita and so much more, it sounds like.
It's a PlayStation TV basically in the United States, but it's I really loved it. I actually really loved the device. I think it's you know it's I think the price has even gone down now. It's like $80 now. The only thing which I wish it had that all of them had a controller bundled in. But I think for that price, it's the cheapest best console you can buy. I guess these.
That's okay. Yeah, it's even cheaper than Ouya, and from what I know, it was.
It's better than Ouya.
Yeah, well, no offense to Ouya, but that's not the toughest challenge at this point for Ouya. But yes.
All the other things, all the other micro consoles too, they're all shit. They're fucking loads of shit. They're shit. You don't get any sales on them. You get 0 sales. And with the PlayStation TV, if you're a developer, right? I mean, it doesn't cost you anything to basically make your beta game compatible with PlayStation TV. As a developer, I know. It takes you literally a few hours. So whoever can't do it, unless it's entirely touchscreen based, if your game is entirely touchscreen based, then you're fucked. But if not, if it isn't, it takes you only a few hours unless you're a lazy cunt. That's the honest truth.
Wow. And you have Death Tales coming out on PlayStation TV and Vita?
There's two. We recently submitted Desert Ashes finally to QA. Last week we did, but all of PlayStation QA goes on holiday because of Christmas and all festivities and eating, not giving presents, and when they could just be working at QA on Christmas Day for me, but instead they're selfish. So,
do you have plans for Christmas Day? Are you going to be working QA, or are you going to be having a holiday feast?
I don't know what I'm going to do for Christmas. Last year I got drunk.
You're kidding. I didn't mean to divert.
Maybe I just might go to Starbucks. I might just go to Starbucks with my whatever it's called. I can't pronounce it.
Is the San Pellegrino, or is that the orange?
Yeah, yeah. But
Yeah.
it's tiny ones. I was like, do you have a bigger one? Like, this is a tiny mini one. I had to buy
That's a
two.
cute little one. Well, Starbucks.
I had to buy two.
You did. It's good for you, vitamin C. So you've got Desert Ashes and formerly known as Reaper, Death Tales. Anything else you're working on right now?
That is. Oh my god! Now I can hear the coffee maker go off in the back.
It's all right.
I'm not sure.
Real Luc.
I'm not sure anybody can even hear me. If I just.
Oh, we can hear you. I
Those
don't know if they
noises.
can hear me. I'm being a little loud, just in case. But yes, I had the sense you were working on something secret. I don't know if it was ever announced and I just missed it, besides Desert Ashes.
There's a bunch of things. You know, I send you emails with secret pictures that nobody else can see, which could sound like dirty pictures, but it's not. I'm actually, yes. I mean, I'm trying, but there's something that can't be mentioned, I guess. Like nowish, like I'm working on a thing which is a crossover of a big franchise with one of my franchise. I can't mention that. Then I'm also trying to work, because it may sound insane, right? I'm trying to also work with non-profits at the moment too, which in video games, which something which it'd be easier to show once I have it, basically.
Huh.
It will, because otherwise it sounds like I just lost my mind again.
Non-profits in video games. That is kind of an oxymoron.
Yeah, I became vegan recently, and I can't stop farting since I became vegan.
Uh-huh. I've heard that.
It really makes you fart a lot. And it really makes you fart a lot. It's like awful. I can't be careful. No, really, it's really bad. I don't know why you fart so much when you're vegan.
Well, at Starbucks, no one will know it's you. At least you got that going for you. It's a big farty place.
No.
So is
No,
your
I go to the
non-profit
bathroom,
got to
right?
do with vegans or with flatulence or?
No, I can't really mention that much because, you know, until I have everything signed, they'll be like probably pissed off and all that, and then, you know,
Oh, sure.
I can't mention that much yet. But there's two non-profits because to me it's like I just explained in terms of video games, right? When you want to get a certain message across and all those things, you know, in terms of like getting messages across, video games are the best way. People don't really care about reading books or watching a documentary. If you watch a documentary like that, they'll be like, oh my god, this is so boring. You know, they'll be bored, often in general. But if you give them a video game towards a cause, it can work out. But that's something which is entirely different, I guess, from my kind of projects. But that's something which will be shown like in the next 3 months, I'd say, because there's all this thing which is going on. Because you know, Desert Ash has been submitted to QA, so hopefully QA start working on Christmas Day. Finally, you know, stop taking vacations, and then we can. We're hoping to get that out in January. Basically, Desert Ash is on the beta.
Oh, cool.
On PS TV, and depending on how that does, we're just going to update it or not. If nobody wants it, we just want to update it. Just be real here. But if people like it, then we update it with new stuff and all those things, basically. Then, of course, we also have a PS4 dev kit laying around. So, as you know, most people, you know, that do PlayStation Vita games always end up on the PS4. So,
Sure.
there's that. But what I think is so interesting in the PlayStation TV is it's such a mini, like, I'm really like the advocates for that machine. Sony didn't pay me to say these things. I wish they did. But just being honest, Sony, if you see me, give me more money.
So that's the size of the PlayStation TV? It's like a sausage?
it's no, yeah, you're doing something wrong. Why are you doing that?
I just call them how we see them. It is a little console, and I did want to get your opinion about it. I've seen it. I haven't gotten one yet. I'm hoping to get one for Christmas.
It's tiny. Well, you should probably win the competition. Maybe you should just rig it and win it for yourself.
Yeah, maybe I should. Maybe I did. We'll find out soon enough. Well, what do you think it is about the micro consoles that, like, to me, on paper, they all should be doing fairly well because they're so cheap. They're about as expensive as a game, and so many games on them are cheap, too. But for some reason, a lot of them have trouble taking off. What do you think it is about them that is causing them to struggle?
apart from the PlayStation TV, which of course we've touched the Vita install base, right?
Right.
All the rest, there's no sales. Even if you get a feature, I can't mention because I won't mention on what platforms, because some of them would be extra nice to me, and they gave me a great feature and all that. But the sales were the most horrendous thing I'd ever seen in my entire life.
Wow.
And it's not their fault. It's even if you get a good feature, it's just most of these micro consoles, they don't have the install base, and you know, people who buy micro consoles, the UOA doesn't exist, and I forget about that. But you know, the rest of the new ones which are coming to Android based, most people use them as streaming devices. They don't use them as gaming devices, and I think the PlayStation TV could take off because it has a PlayStation brand. It has PS1 games, PSP games, PS Vita games. To me, the PS TV is a perfect fit for a kid to get into gaming. Like, what do you buy a kid, you know, when he just starts off? You buy a PS TV, it's $100, you know?
Yeah.
Doesn't really cost them that much. Or, you know, as a low-income families. And I think Sony just needs to start targeting towards those markets to make it grow. But I love that machine, actually, because it's only $100 and you've got so many things on it. It's a really cool machine.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think that it's...
in theory, I thought the Ouya would be cool, and then people also seemed to think it was cool when they backed it, and then when it came time to actually embrace it and build that install base, people were like, yeah, I'll pass. Do you think it's, like you were mentioning before, who do they target for their market? Do they have to target people who don't have much money but want video games? Because otherwise, if you go after people who have money, they're going to say, well, I don't want like a low-rent McDonald's consoles.
Well, the thing is, people still want proper video games, and with the Ouya, it was Android games, which were mobile games on your TV, which is kind of still shittish, you know, it's kind of shit. Well, the Vita, you know, Vita and even PSP games are way cooler hanging out on your TV than a mobile game. It's admitted most mobile games they're meant for mobiles. They're meant to, you know, you can't really get engrossed in it, or you don't really spend that much time on it. It's just blind fest for when you're bored on your phone. So that's why it didn't work. That's why it didn't work. Everybody knows that's why. Everybody tried. It was just a huge event.
I'm not insulting you, but it makes perfect sense. Phone games on a TV, not exciting, but Vita games on a TV, exciting. Yeah, makes perfect sense.
It's exciting because if you play, like, what are you smashing everything?
Yeah, I just went berserk for a second. I didn't want you to see it.
Yeah, like if you play Mirror Master on your TV, it looks amazing. It looks way better than the Wii version, of course. You know, so you've got Dragon's Crown and Borderlands doesn't really play that well on Vita. I won't play it on.
But it's there for cheaper. Yeah.
I have been, since I don't have my PS4 with me, I have been playing the Borderlands Vita because I have nothing else to do. So I play it on the Vita. And you know what? People complain about that port, right? But what could you do? You couldn't really do much with the Vita. It wasn't powerful enough. So what it is, it's really good. It's a really good port for what it is.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know?
And Persona 4 Golden's on there, I think. I remember.
I don't know. They're all high schoolers. I don't want to play with game with high schoolers.
All right. I didn't know that about you. You've got a thing against that, I suppose.
No, it's weird. I don't want to go into relationships. I feel a bit like a pedo. Like, hey, I'm getting a bunch of 16-year-olds to hook up in the game and fight monsters and then hook up again. It's like, I don't know. I can't really get into Japanese RPGs. I can't.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense because your life is like a Japanese RPG already. So I bet it would be.
I make out with schoolgirls now?
Well, I'm not going that far, but you are someone who's constantly on the move, leveling up, having bizarre experiences at night, having social interactions during the day. Your life is much like a good role-playing game.
I would admit one thing when I was at the PlayStation Experience, right, I noticed one thing. When I was at my booth, nobody came up. When I wasn't in my booth, everybody go play the game. So I can't be at the booth anymore. So I just wandered off most of the time.
Well, you're an intimidating force. You're not, I mean, you're used to being you, so you probably don't see it, but you are kind of a heavy metal good version of the devil. In video games?
I don't listen to heavy metal.
Yeah, but the skulls on your and the hair and the accent and the badass. It's yeah. Look at you. You're like a demon on Earth, and it's a wonderful thing. I wouldn't say.
No, and then I brought a friend to the PlayStation Experience too, and she wore only black too and looked kind of creepy too. So we're both sitting there, and definitely nobody came by. So it's like I said, when we went there, everybody was there. And then I told Sony kept on.
Yeah.
No, but also Sony kept on telling me, you should go back to your booth. It's crashed. And I'm like, I shouldn't be at the booth. Nobody would go there if not.
I think they're missing out. As you know, I'm always excited to talk to you, and if I were at the PlayStation Experience, I would have been there hanging out. You're dark, not heavy metal though. What would you how would you define your look? What would you call it?
I'm Jesus Christ reincarnated.
Oh, is that what it is?
I haven't hit my 30s yet, and it's, you know, Jesus ain't started doing these miracles in his 30s, so the same way as me. People just didn't realize it yet.
They'll figure it out. Jesus wasn't that big of a deal until his miracles a little bit later. He had to come into his own, so I'm sure you'll get there as well.
When I hit my 30s, when I start turning water into vodka,
everybody
loved me. I can even make business out of it. No, it's not turning water into vodka. I don't need the rest. It's kind of useless walking on water. What do you do in the ocean? You just go have a walk in the ocean?
I suppose. I should bone up on my Bible studies, because I'm not sure what he was doing out there in the ocean. Just maybe looking at the fishes.
No, he didn't go to the ocean. He talked about walking on water.
Oh, it wasn't ocean water. Was it like the Mediterranean Sea? It's a little salty.
No, that's Christian Bale who did that thing.
I mix up Christian Bale with Christian Jesus every once in a while. They are similar.
Jesus,
nice abs on both of them. So we should talk about, well, there's so much we can still talk about. Your games, though, of course, is an interesting topic for me. You, as a developer, is someone I've always seen kind of skating the line between savvy business, trying to do something that's going to keep your head above water and help you pay for your artists and programmers, but you still can't let go of wanting to put a personal touch, putting some of yourself.
Well, that's what I realized. You want to read story DevTales?
Yeah.
It was Reaper actually. As you know, it started back in what, 2012 or 10 or 11? It was first announced.
Yeah, one of those.
Announced a while ago. It was announced as Reaper, you know, a while back on Kotaku, like a long time back, and it had one publisher. That publisher went bankrupt because of Taylor Swift. I'm not kidding.
What? How did Taylor Swift cause Reaper's original publisher to go bankrupt?
Because they basically made this music game with Taylor Swift, and it did a lot on it, and Taylor Swift, it flopped. So Taylor Swift ruined my life at one point. I should slap her in the face next time I see her.
I wouldn't do that.
No,
You'll go to jail. No, just give her a sneer or something.
I fucking walked on her. Okay, but anyway, apart from me hating Taylor Swift, who's my arch nemesis, Taylor Swift.
Sure, she would agree. Yes.
Then of course it was without a publisher. So when shit isn't without a publisher, you have to honestly put shit on hold. When we got another publisher a few years after, great. I mean, the president of the side of things, he was great. He signed in, I was very excited about it. But then we got put on with not a publisher, with a producer, who I'm just going to call him Bob. That's my real name.
Yes.
Bob was basically the worst person one of the worst people I'd ever worked with. Like, he just didn't like the game. He kept on being like, I can't play, it's not fun, the art style doesn't have any personality. And when we had the art style didn't have any personality, we were like, you just hate us. So we're just like, we can't work with you anymore. And it was a pretty, that was a shame, that was, because it was an alpha at that point, it was.
How did, he picked up the game for publishing. Did he look at the game before he picked it up?
The president picked it up, right?
Okay.
Then
Not Bob. Someone else.
not Bob. And then Bob was put on the project, and Bob I think he just hated us. Bob just hated us, and we hated each other. We were basically fighting between the team too, for no reason. We just a bunch of dramas going on because we just couldn't stand Bob. He was just so annoying. Anytime we talked to him or show him about the game, like, he just make noises or something. And then it's also we knew this game was more suited towards a console-based audience and all that. So like, it's better on PlayStation, it's better on PlayStation. He's like, iPhone. That's kind of how he sounds like.
I'm curious about who this publisher and Bob is. This somebody that we might know, or are they lesser known?
No, they're pretty big. The publisher's great. It's Bob who basically destroyed the project. It's because they won't put me on the side. I just couldn't stand it at one point, so they let us go. They're very nice. Actually, the publisher's really nice. It's just Bob who.
Yeah. I wonder how you won him over. What if you had put him in the game as like, I don't know, King or something?
He would have been King.
King Bob. No. Well, you hated him too. I would assume he knew that. He must have felt that at some point.
Oh yeah, he definitely felt it. Yeah. He definitely did. But what I mean, it just didn't work out, right?
Right.
So and then the game was out. You know, publishers, anything. It was like, oh, we're on our own again. And then I had agents also back in the day, and my agents were also like a couple months after, like, we're going to drop you. But they dropped me after I got dropped by my agents too, which was like, yay. So that was going on. And then I was also going through we can go into that later, was kind of like a cancer thing going on, right? Then in the middle of all that whole year was like complete shit. I was just like, this is awful. So that all happened within a couple months. It did, basically. But then, funny enough, after when I approached, it was late last year. I started talking to Sony directly, and I always liked Sony. I wanted to work directly with them, more one-on-one.
Yeah.
And they loved the project. They picked up, and they're like, "We want this shit exclusive to us." And I'm like, "I love."
Was Mecho Wars on the PSP? Am I remembering that correctly? One of your prior military strategy games or turn-based strategy.
Yeah, but it was through a publisher, so I never got into it with Sony directly.
Ah, got it. Okay.
But when I approached Sony with DevTales, they're like, we wanted. They wanted the exclusive, and I was like, I love you, Sony. And then we all made out and had a big Sony orgy.
That sounds great, and that was just this past year.
Yeah, it was me with all the PS4s and Vitas, and we all got together.
You held on all that black matted.
Oh, piled them all together. I put them all down my trousers. It was amazing. I gave even the PSP some action too. I fondled it a bit on the side.
And this was all in 2014, or was this last year?
What day are we? We're
2014 now. Yeah.
2013, and then basically this year is when everything materialized. We signed it on basically exclusive. So I'm doing lots of things which I'd say are made exclusive with Sony now, because Sony, I had experience with Nintendo in the past. They were dicks. Actually, when I was at E3 this year, what I did since I was at the Sony booth showing off my game, I just went to Nintendo just like a kid, like, guys were dicks. And I just left.
They were dicks. I'm trying to remember when they were dicks to you. Was that turning?
No, it was back in 2009. It was.
Yeah, with which game were you talking to them about back then?
Mecho Wars. They're being really annoying, and they were being like, we don't like indies. It's back when they didn't like indies that much. Remember?
Yeah. Now they've even coined the term nindies, which isn't the best term. It's not the worst. Well, I know some great people.
It's be like if Sony's called, indies the Cindies. These are my Cindies,
It is. The people who came up with nindies, I love them as people. does the term has it taken off? Not quite, because it does have a little bit of an air of, well, this is still about Nintendo, as opposed to really focusing just on the developers.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I still love Nintendo's games. I just thought the people that worked on Nintendo on the development side, the developer relations, were Nintendo hardware were dicks.
Yeah, they were, to you, specifically.
Yes, and I'm going to always be mad at them forever, unless they give me $10 million.
Well, what if they were to come to you? Because it's new people over there now, from what I know.
I would be like, I'm not cheating on Sony. Sony's my girlfriend. How dare you try and make me have an affair?
It is a little bit like relationships you have, and it is something that...
It is actually. It's all about relationships. Actually, I'll be honest with you, right? Since before, I would never really go out. I'd never attend all these events, right?
Yeah.
You know, like E3 and all those things. The more you go to those events, the more you realise it's all about... It's like going back to high school. It is. It's like going back to school where you have the popular kids, and you have the kids which are just a bit everywhere, then you have the kids that nobody likes, and it's all about that. So basically the popular get all depressed, who are like, oh, I love you, oh, you know, all those things, and the less popular kids are the ugly ones at the back of the booths, you know, booths like hidden in the back, like don't like as much. It's really like back to high school. It's definitely interesting. Like, for example, the press and stuff, they won't pay that much attention to any titles unless Sony comes around and does it. If they, for example, it's just you, even if you're they just be like, they won't care much. But it's an issue. I mean, it's not really an issue, actually, because they're after Sony. It's just an issue when maybe I've become so lazy when it comes to doing press compared to before.
Yeah.
Before I used to be like, all over. Now I just do stuff. Like before, I just don't even like. I do a PlayStation post from time to time, and I'm trying to be less lazy. That's come Sony's good. That's why it's good that Sony's going to be looking after that now. Oh, I look like a drunk now. Yeah.
Well, do you think it matters? I know so many indie developers who like work so hard on their press releases that they try to reach out to everybody, and then they still get ignored. And then a game like Cat Lateral Damage, which they didn't try to do any press on. It's a local guy, Chris Chung, working on that. Because his game is about a cat knocking stuff over, like ABC.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cute little game. He didn't even have to try, and before he knew it, he was on like American television. Of
course, because that's very easy. You play a cat. It's like Goat Simulator. I wouldn't want to report on that. It's geniusly retarded. It's like, what can I come up with that's so retarded, but it's actually genius? You wouldn't want to play a cat.
Yeah, that's what the internet wants. I recently did a video about, and I've tried, as you know, for years. I've tried to make videos and stuff on the internet that people would enjoy. And I put a lot of thought and emotion, like meaning into it. I did a video about Captain Falcon's ass, as you can see. It's pretty deep.
God, they really have to work on his ass.
Well, it's pretty, yeah, the detail's not bad. The 30-second video about Captain Falcon's ass is like blowing up bigger than anything I've done other than like Teenage Pokemon, which is also relatively stupid.
It is, no, it just depends. That's just Marvel stuff, you know? I mean, it's like, it's Marvel stuff. Like, if somebody did a bum simulator, right? Just a fart simulator of the bum. Like, you just
fart simulator of the bum, yes.
Of the bum. Like, that was like, I just said of the bum out loud and everybody just staring at me now. But that would go viral, that's understandable. But it is very, it is actually very hard, I think, sometimes for indies to get attention, press attention. It is sometimes, even if they're at the shows and all that. So I was like, say, T3, right? I was next to these guys who made Mecho. At T3, and they got several nominations of not game of the year, E3 show, best Vita game, and all that. But a lot of people won't pay attention to them because what happens is press has special relationships with special things. It's like high school again. So it's basically like if there's a new kid on the block that isn't getting that much press from another thing, like they won't care about it to try and be the first, basically. So
Sure.
imagine there's, I don't know, there's a game called, I don't know, Bob's Panty Adventures, right? And it's really popular with IGN or something.
Sure.
Of course, Kotaku afterwards start reporting on it. Other people start reporting on it, but they won't. They wait until somebody else starts hyping it up. They start hyping it up. That's what I've noticed from other developers. But what I like, again, being with Sony is that even say if I don't get any press, right, Sony's going to put my. I probably shouldn't say this. They're going to make sure my PlayStation is very well placed on the PlayStation store because they like my products and what I do. So after it's like, in all cases, I still get. The gamers still get to see my games, and that's why I like partnering up with Sony. You're guaranteed at least for the PlayStation owners to actually play your games.
Yeah.
And you won't have to. Because again, I'm like, I'm so tired of doing press things now. I mean, it's typing emails, but it's like, it's again like you have to have these relationships with the press, and sometimes it does feel honestly like high school. It does.
And to extrapolate on that metaphor a little bit, does it feel like high school in that in high school people are really focused more on being cool than being honest a lot of the time? They're worried about image, they're worried about how they fit in. There's a hierarchy of how cool you are, which depends on things that oftentimes have nothing to do with you. They're out of your control, and that's like what's going to determine your success or failure.
It's not in the gaming industry. It's not so much about how cool you are; it's about how cool your game is. You know, because, you don't actually have to be cool, but there is a kind of hierarchy, I guess. Because from what I've noticed, again, I'll tell you one thing which I noticed. Right, I was at this private conference at the PlayStation Experience, right, and that was before the press could get to check before the main show opened. So something exclusive to the press, right. So I was there showing the game, showing a new game, and right next to me is Grim Fandango, right, which is a great game. But then, basically, there's one of the issue I had. Some PR people just weren't that good at what they're doing, and some press people. Me and Grim Fandango are right next to each other. It's like, come on, you should at least check out Grim Fandango, right? Because it's fucking Grim Fandango on the Vita, and it was. The press people didn't really care that much. I noticed there was too much of a like, they'd come up, just look at some games, don't even check out this Grim Fandango over there, and just move along to the next one where the flashy big, order screens were and all those things. And like I said, so some press people, I'd be like, hey, I'm over here, and they'd be like, hi, oh, you're running away, okay, bye. That's really cool.
And what do you think is causing them to run away? You've had to deal with the press for years now. What do you make of them? What are their priorities? What are they? Why do they run? Please.
I would say this in this case. For the Grim Fandango thing, I just clearly don't understand why they didn't want to come check it out more, before anybody else. It was not there. But I think the case of me, I think it's because the case of me before. Back in the day, I was a lot more when I was releasing Eternity Child, which was a load of shit, which people need to seriously. I've noticed one thing funny to Eternity Child, right? Some people on some websites can't get over it, while on some other websites, people have just completely forgotten about it. You know what I mean? And some websites are like, it's that guy made that game, and it's like, Christ, that was 7 years ago. I was like, just. Okay, it's not that bad. I mean, for a first game, it's not that bad to shop.
Yeah,
that's how I felt about it.
If I remember correctly, on Steam,
I got 1 out of 10. I did.
On Steam, I thought he got 5 out of 10, which is 4 out of 10 better. It's not that bad.
I don't know what I got, but basically on this Destructoid, I got.
Oh, I know. I
got over it. I know what I mean. I got over it, and I never hated a website where some people are still like, it's very weird. Like sometimes that's like, I mean, it depends. Like when I went into mobile games, nobody even knew Eternity Child existed and liked me. But some websites, not some websites, some people still can't get over it. But I actually don't regret. I mean, what's good? It's good to make your first game and have it be a load of shit. And then I think you learn how to make better ones, and spend like $40 million on a piece of shit. You know, like I got my piece of shit out of the way. Everybody makes a piece of shit.
Absolutely,
They do.
it's part of the process. And if I remember correctly, you had thought about leaving games shortly after that, and thank goodness you didn't. Here we are 7 years later, and you have quite a few games under your belt.
I was really emo and sad and self-pitying and drunk and really like, why do people hate me? Why? So, and then I just got over it, and I just stopped caring.
That's great.
I just make titles that I want to. I tell you what, I make titles which I want to play now, really.
Yeah.
Because again, like, what's so awesome about DevTales, for example? Yeah. Why, in case you wonder, why we changed the name? We changed the name because there's another Android game which came out after we announced our game. You know, like a few years after, and everybody's confusing the two. They look very similar. They do, but I don't think they copied us. I think it's just a coincidence kind of thing.
Sure.
But that's why we had to change the title, because we didn't want people getting confused about the two. Because some people, when we announced it with Sony, some people were like, "Oh, this shitty game has been released on Android," and it's like, no, it's not the same game.
So DevTales also has a nice ring to it. I think it was a good choice regardless. It implies, not that Reaper was bad, but DevTales may be better because it gives you the feeling that there's going to be more to chew on in terms of lore in the background. And from what I know, the game does have quite a bit of stuff to it. It's not just the gameplay.
What are two things which you see? Wow, that's wonderful. Why don't you start doing construction here? Oh, what is that? Is this one of the best music playing out here?
Yeah, the music was probably better, but it's all part of the rustic charm of the Luc Bernard experience.
Yeah,
I wouldn't change a thing.
So, Starbucks. Okay, so that game basically, okay, that game is so complicated, people just don't realize it.
Well,
so we've only, yes.
Yeah, maybe to get to how playing it actually works, because people may not know.
People don't understand. People haven't really been able to see everything. So, because I did notice that the PlayStation experience, there was fans coming up to me, asking me stuff which even I had no clue what they're talking about. They came up to me and they asked, so how do the cards work? How many stats and this and that? And I'm just like, I haven't even designed this shit yet. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just going,
how do the cards work? So it's like a virtual card game. Is that how you would describe it?
No. Okay. So I explain.
Yes.
With this game, right? So it's an action RPG side scroller, collectible, leveling up, everything. Okay, it sounds like it's not a good description.
Action,
okay, it's gonna be
side-scrolling action game, but with what kind of combat elements?
Look at the video.
Well, for the people listening, Sub Holmes is a show a lot of people just listen to.
Look at the video, people listening.
They probably do have smartphones, it's true.
No, what I was going to say, so the thing is so complicated to explain. It's going to be 2 modes, right? It's going to be free to play, the game.
Okay.
Free to play for Vita, PlayStation, TV, maybe other PlayStation devices. Maybe not. I can't confirm. But so basically on that device, right, free to play. So there are going to be 2 modes, right? It's going to be story mode and tales mode. So you'll be able to, your character which you'll create, you'll be able to use him across both modes.
Okay.
Well, as all your leveling up and all that. But basically in the game, you can collect cards. So the cards are different types. They do equipment, they do weapons, they do pets, they do summons, they do spells. They're different types, right? All it is really, it's just in a card form. But all it is just loads of different ways to equip your character. Because we looked at, say, you have all these card games that come out, right? And the only thing you're doing with these card games is nothing. You know, it's just here, collect cards and it just gives them away. You know, it's not. So we wanted to take something with cards and make it more interesting. You know, it's more interesting you have cards and you can actually do shit with them. Like at the PlayStation Experience, the demo we showed, which I bet no one took a video of as members, basically there was a summon that took up the entire screen. If you use one of the cards, right, it took up this entire screen as all Final Fantasy games and destroyed everything. So you had like really. Can you actually? Yeah.
What?
Wait, it's still working.
I lost you for a second.
I can't check. Wait. Okay. Great. Talk. Say something.
I'm here.
checking to see if it
Are you
works.
here? I'm back.
Okay, it's just as your mouth moves without you talking, then you talk after your mouth has moved.
That's fine. As long as you talk, it's good. You do the talking.
Okay, so there's all those cards, right? Then you got the leveling up system. Then you got all these quests you can go on. Then you got the online multiplayer. Then you got maybe we might have online cards right now. I don't know, but there's going to be online multiplayer. We can go on quests with your friends. It's like I say, it's so complicated to explain. It's like a side-scrolling Diablo-like with cards to collect. There's over 100. I think for the first alpha we're going to do maybe 50 cards, and 100, then 150. Then we just continue updating. We basically with Sony we have this plan where we want to basically continue supporting the game as long as possible. Basically, it's going to be an ongoing process. We're going to first. How loud is this noise? Okay. First release the alpha. First release the alpha for PlayStation Plus users, basically, so they can play the game. It's not like the Destiny alphas where you lose all your progress after. You get to keep all your progress, but you basically kind of be able to give us feedback and decide what you want and all those things, basically. So we're going to have this whole process. We also have plans for shows, the next shows, like maybe PAX, E3, PlayStation Experience next year. If you come to those things, we're going to give you cards, which will give you exclusive in-game shit, which nobody else will have. So it's this long process of this game, which people, when you look at it, you think, oh, it's another side-scroller, but it's actually a lot bigger than that, and that's why it's taking so long.
Has the plan always been to do free-to-play, have a lot of collectible cards, that sort of thing, or is that something that evolved over time?
Something evolved with the last publisher, because they wanted to make it free-to-play only for iPhone, and I always thought it's better suited towards the console audience. I think it's greatly suited towards the Vita and the PlayStation TV. It's like, and again with free-to-play, you can play the game, and if you don't like it, you don't have to play it, since you won't have bought it. So you get to see if you actually like it. Sure.
And free-to-play has a lot of stigma attached to it. People just immediately assume that the game design is going to be tailored around, unless you pay, you can't win. But if you pay, then you'll be able to win easily.
No. We're going to make it really fair. Every time you level up, you're going to have to pay us $500.
So you don't pay $500 to level up. It's like once you've played the game, then you have to suddenly.
Yeah, no. The contract in the game, once you level up, you have to give me $500. Otherwise, I can sue you. I'm not going to tell people about that. I guess I click OK in all cases, and that's rich.
Sure. It's just a user agreement at the beginning. Nobody reads those.
Yeah.
Before you
Nobody reads those. Exactly.
You won't get in any trouble at all. It won't be a total disaster, which is going to be great. I'm excited about it.
I'll be like, I'm going to put something. If you complain about it on the internet, you owe me $100,000. Everybody's going to have to shut up.
Man, you should run your own country. You can do a great job running some sort of dictatorship with this thing.
No, it would be a fair country towards me.
Of course. How would it, in reality, though? I am quite curious. How will the free-to-play aspect work?
The entire game will be free. We're just we're trying to think about different models right now. If you want to buy cards instead of finding them, you can buy them. Or if you want to, or we might sell maybe some extra cards. It's just going to be stuff like that. I wouldn't say it's not pay-to-win. It's more like Warframe. I don't know if you have played that game, but if people know free-to-play probably played Warframe, and they understand it's like that. So you can do the entire game for free. There's going to be no paywall.
Right.
Really. It's just. I give you.
Yeah.
What are you saying?
No,
I give
no.
No, I'm just going to talk this one. It's like. Okay. Say, for example, me, right? I got Grand Theft Auto Online, right? I like Grand Theft Auto Online. But I spent $100 just to get a car and a house in it, but I could have grinded, right? I know, and you know what I do actually with this house? And I send selfies to my friends, pretending it's actually my car. I don't drive.
So is that the kind of psychology you're hoping to tap into, is give people a world that they enjoy anyway, and then because they enjoy being in that world, they want to accentuate their experience there with actual money?
What I think was Grand Theft Auto Online, when I bought these things, it didn't make my gameplay experience better. I mean, it didn't make me better at the game. It just made my character stand out more. That's what I like, because he looks like me. And so it literally does look like me. But so I do like I like that. That's what I would spend money on. And Warframe, that's what I spent money on to get. So I like those things. It's all about personalization of the character, a more personalized thing. Or you could just go ahead and, like Diablo, you know, just loot around for hours. So people have those choices, basically.
Sure. So is that part of why you'll be able to interact with friends in Death Tales? You will be able to show your friends how you look and express yourself as an individual to them in-game.
Well, I wouldn't say as an individual, that's going a bit too deep, but be able to play, because, you know, play a bit, I don't know, like, to explain it is, but I like games where I can customize my character directly instead of looking for stuff, because, you know, maybe my character might look like a dick. I want my character to look like a dick for the first 10 hours, you know, it doesn't make me want to play. If I can at least customize it before, then I want to play a bit better. So it's more about that, but we're still trying to figure everything out, to be honest with you. It's definitely not going to be pay to win, because it's also going to be like, since we're going to see with Sony what works best and all those. So it's basically, we just want to get as many people playing, you know, on the Vita as possible. We just want that system, the PlayStation TV and the Vita, where people start, you know, playing on it again. And I think it's a good thing to give out, you know, free-to-play game which has online multiplayer and all those things, you know, which you can go on quests with. You know, everybody likes co-op games, and right now, the only online co-op games I can think of on Vita are Borderlands, and, you know, which have quests, and Borderlands.
Isn't yeah, I think that might be it. Luftrausers isn't online. Most games aren't online in general for the Vita. And your thoughts on PlayStation 4? Pretty big success so far, which is great to see. Vita, I don't know what the numbers are on that. The people who like the Vita love the Vita, but in terms of it blowing up in the way that the PS4 has, that doesn't seem to have quite happened yet.
It won't. I doubt it will, but Vita games sell.
Yeah.
They sell. They just sell. People love their Vita games. If you release a game on the Vita, you get sales. It's not. It's a great machine to develop from. That's really all that matters. And I think the issue is that I haven't complained to Sony about is when they do their press conference, they're often like, "Oh, what's a Vita?" You know, they don't promote it the right way. They don't. No, they honestly like that. I mean, I had dinner with one of the higher ups, I will say, of Sony, right? And one of the executives that you see at the shows, things like that. And I spent most of my time yelling at him. I was like, "What the fuck are you doing with your Vita?" I'm like, "Why? Like, how come all of us, we're all indies, and, you know, we're indies, and our games are better than what you're offering right now?" I was like,
yeah.
It's just massive.
In terms of first-party support, yeah. I'm sorry, yeah.
Yeah, but third party at Sony, they're great. So I'm just trying to release some good content for the Vita, because I think Vita players are out there. Of course, the easy route is going on PS4. Everybody wants to be on PS4, you know? But the Vita people, they're hunting for content. So if you give them cool content, they're going to be grateful for it. You know, they're going to love you more as a developer if you release it on a platform like the Vita.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Do you think that Sony, to me, one of the great things about Sony is they... And this may hurt the feelings of PlayStation fans. I'm a PlayStation fan myself, but I don't get the sense that the people running the show at PlayStation like develop games. They develop hardware. They also are involved in the movie industry to some degree. PlayStation was birthed by Sony wanting to get into video games. They wanted to partner with Nintendo. Nintendo, kind of, from what I know anyway, I wasn't there, but I've read that Nintendo then kind of decided, we don't want to work with you. So Sony was kind of like bitter, like, well, we'll show you, we'll do it anyway. But not with a real, like, ingrained in their DNA passion for games. So because of that, but they're passionate about being successful, they'll try anything. But if what they try doesn't work out, that passion doesn't cause them to keep doing it, and then they'll drop it real quick. Like PlayStation Move, I was all about PlayStation Move, and then all of a sudden support for it immediately dried up. Vita, I can't help but worry that they're also saying, our Uncharted didn't sell well enough on Vita, so we're not going to support it, even though there's clearly this diehard fan base underneath it. Those are my thoughts. What are yours?
Sony actually, among the most passionate people at work there now.
Yeah.
Of gamers compared to any other company, compared to Microsoft. That's why they did something like PlayStation. It's calling me. Right. Hey, I'm on an interview right now, and I'm answering the phone. I can't hear you. Hello. Hey, I'm on an interview right now. They're looking at me. Answer the phone. I have to hang up. I'll call you back. Okay. Bye. So basically,
Yes.
they're among the most passionate people I know. They're way more passionate than Microsoft or any other
Are
company.
you talking about the frontline guys like Shane Bettenhausen and Nick Sutner, I believe it is? I don't never.
I don't talk about my shows, though, because I don't think they even care about me.
No.
I think they used to me drunk at places. I think they used to me drunk. Anytime I'd be like drunk, I'm like, oh, why are you supposed to be there? Fuck you. I'm just like there in the corner.
I'm sure they care a whole heck of a lot about you. Are you talking about Kaz then? Who? And PlayStation. I don't know if you can name names about the people you like the most.
No, those things, I'm actually really drunk at those events. I'm really not kidding. I'm really doing person there. Yeah. But, the people I work with at Sony, they're the most passionate people I know. The people are like, for example, head of marketing. I don't know if she's head of marketing actually, but she's in the marketing. She's one of the main people in the marketing, the Beta and PSTV, and she is so passionate about everything she does. She really is. But, those people can't get a budget approved for new Uncharted, on Vita. You know what I mean? It's all politics. It's so big corporation, So a lot of people are passionate. Even some executives which I talked to, which I yelled at, they were like, hey, they basically told me like, hey, listen, I love everything you're saying, but it's really hard. The board doesn't listen to me. I can't get anything done. I want to get this done, but they don't want to let me do it. So it's now Sony just cancelled my deal because I revealed their secrets. But no, but you basically that's the issue. Is with every big mega corporation, it's hard to get shit done. But Sony actually, they aren't abandoning the Vita. It's far from abandoned. It is. It's just they need more developers like me who want to bring in more exclusive content and all that. What I'm actually trying to do, what I would love to do is I would love to manage to convince a lot of mobile developers and be like, stop doing mobile games, you're not making any living, mobile games are shit, focus on making some Vita games, some proper Vita games, indie type games, stop doing that, stop being on mobile. So it just takes a while, basically. I mean, I also think that once I get the numbers from all my games, I'm probably just going to reveal them publicly on the Vita, just to get some people, to actually. If you look at the guy from Retro City Rampage, right? He released like a stealth statistics thing, this thing like yesterday or something. The Vita was among, I think, one of the top platform money makers. I think 3DS was the most. I think there's Vita. Those things, but yeah, Vita's far from dead. It's doing really well in Asia. It's just a lot of American companies, like publishers, right? Go up to a publisher that hell will make a game for Vita, even for really cheap. They're like, no. That's what they'd be like. I'd be like, why? Because you're not making it good duty. That's how they'd be like.
I didn't realize that. Well, they're often focused on phones, from what I gather. In general, the culture with American publishers is like, dedicated handhelds are over, everyone wants to be on iPad, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, but the iPad still, they'd be like, just make Clash of Clans slide. They'd be like that, right? And then you'd be like, I don't want to do that. Like, this is something new, but no, that could be fun. Well, I think that's what they sound like one day.
Yeah, that's how they must sound, is what I'm guessing. I can't help but be just, you are, as you know, you must have noticed, as I've noticed that there aren't a ton of people on my side of the video game industry quite like me. I'm different than a lot of people. I'm not saying better or worse, most often worse, but at least I'm not following the exact mold that's been put before me. You too, Luke. There's not many other people who've been on this show, and we've had over 100 at this point, who openly mock American video game publishers with the me voice, and the fact that you survived in this industry, despite the fact that you continue to.
I don't think I did survive. I mean, Sony's different. Sony are amazing. Sony. I mean, I'm actually talking really like Sony. Do you want to marry me, Sony, right now? But I don't know which one at Sony could marry me. Maybe I could marry the UCO. I was saying, Kaz, I'd be gay for you. Come now.
You did. Are you saying you wouldn't have survived if it weren't for Sony? Do you think that would have been the end of it?
No, I wouldn't say that. I don't think I did survive in a way. I honestly still think. I don't think there's. The thing is with me, it's very weird, right? I have some big mobile developers which really trust me, really think I'm really good at what I do. I have them big feedback at Sony. Sony make games. They know I do. Why they do? They don't care that I'm fucking insane, that I get drunk at their parties, that I go annoy everybody who works there. I mean, some people go on holidays in Paris, and I'd hit them up drunk and be like, I want this, right now I'm drunk. And they're okay with that. They are, because they know I want to make great games for their platform. So that's all that matters, right? When I work at a publisher, even the publisher with Bob, right? And Bob hated me. I still wanted to make an amazing game. Well, that's why I was fighting with them, because they were often like, their issues were like, it's too hard, I can't play it. They were like that. So that's, yes.
I'm still puzzled. How did you not survive? I mean, you did, right? I can believe what I see before me, which is Luc Bernard survived.
At a Starbucks, alone.
Well, maybe we can dial it back a little bit. Before we kind of brush over it. But you were diagnosed with cancer? Is that right?
Yeah. I did. I had that, and I just had to go get that shit removed after I became fine, basically. But yeah, when I was diagnosed with it, basically, I mean, like, all publishers, agents, and everybody blocked me, which was really funny as fuck. It was funny as fuck. It was actually. Come think of it now. Think about this. Like this now. It's really funny because it wouldn't push me, to go ahead and focus Sony and get exactly stuff done with them, but. Yeah, I went through that. I didn't even try to vocalize it that much, but yeah, nothing much happened about it. I got diagnosed with it. I don't think it was. Yeah, it just.
As an indie game developer, did you have health insurance? Did you these things?
No, I had to spend a lot of bloody money. Thank you, U.S. government.
That's
why I live in Starbucks now.
But you did survive. Did you have to take out loans? Did you quickly work on some games and push them out in order to literally from dying?
As you know, what I do sometimes actually, I used to work, still for publishers and all that. Like behind the scenes, I had to come people out to see a lot of my games. But I don't work on a lot of games for a lot of publishers. I had at one point I worked for a Japanese publisher who hated women.
Yeah. What did you? What did you do there?
I didn't do anything. They hated women. They did. One of my designers was a woman, and anytime she would talk, she would be like in his Japanese accent, "You shut up. You shut up. You shut the fuck up." That's what I tell her. And I was just like, "Whoa, there's something wrong with you."
Yeah, this is not the first time I've heard this in the past couple of months, actually, talking to people who work for Japanese game developers, telling me that a lot of sexism is kind of built into the culture there.
They're based in San Francisco. They make mobile games. I think they're bloody evil. I really do. And if I ever see that guy, Takashi, his name was Takashi, I forgot his last name, I will fucking punch him in the face. He was just so fucking bad. It was like literally just... Wait 2 seconds, I think somebody's mad at me. Yeah? Okay. Did an interview here too. Calm down.
Do they want you to buy a muffin or something to justify your stay at the Starbucks? We're about 29. If you do need to leave early, it's okay. No, not a problem. But
No, I don't sleep. Am I that loud? I just try keeping it down. I get told off at every coffee shop I go to. I did a business meeting the other day at one.
uh-huh.
So where were we? Yes. So basically, yes, there was in San Francisco. That was like a couple of years ago.
Right.
It was.
And you worked for a developer, a publisher, doing what?
I was basically making a game for them.
Which game?
Oh, it never came out. It didn't. I felt better about it after, because it wasn't just me who got nearly every other game that they were doing got cancelled too. They just had it was so sexist.
Wow.
It was really bad. It was. I know a lot of things have been coming out, but that was literally the worst thing the place I've ever worked at. But yeah, where were we?
A lot of everything. How you survived having been diagnosed with cancer. Wild Reaper was in limbo, having been tossed around and dropped. How did you get through that year?
It sucked. Really. I just got through it. I mean, there's nothing. A lot of people go through shit like every day.
Yeah.
I mean, so you can get, there's nothing really that I can't say for me, because those people go through it, so it's not like I'm like in a country, really poor country starving.
Sure. But a lot of people, who go through it have some form of health insurance or have jobs that blah blah blah. They're not self-owned business people trying to make video games in this particular climate. It is.
I had to spend a lot of money as I had, basically. I did. That's This is what happened.
Yeah.
It's
now, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it's not anything that big or tragic, I'd say. It wasn't. It's just you have to spend lots of money, and it sucked, but there's no need to whine on about it, because I'm here now.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And did any of the experiences you've had with that, with anything else, end up working their way into the narrative of Death Tales? I had heard that it was somewhat about, because I don't think you can make a game that isn't kind of about you in some way. From what I gather, they all are a reflection of you on some degree.
Well, it's just for the main plots, one of the main story plots. Like I said, it's going to be 2 modes, right? So there's going to be a story mode, where it's just story-based stuff, right? And then there's going to be a Tales mode, where it's going to be the online thing, where it's going to be a bunch of different quests with different stories and all that. So I mean, story mode, which is going to be single-player, Metroidvania-like, it says. Yeah, that one has more of a story basing, but I'd rather have people read it. I wouldn't explain it, because I have it up on a blog post, PlayStation blog. I'd rather read it. It just comes across better than me just babbling on about it.
Yeah, but here you are. I can't help but be a little curious. Is there any point in life that it's kind of about in your life, or any themes in general it's about?
Yeah, I would say it's about all people's themes, about the themes of, loss on people, which actually doesn't seem like it, but people don't understand. Like, I'm trying to get that in that title I am. But I'm also trying to make it very much, still a game-like experience.
Yeah, That's always the challenge, to somehow combine something that's about certain themes, but also this is a game you can do whatever you want with.
With the cutscenes, we're going to, with cutscenes that we made like motion comic type stuff.
Sounds
we did
good.
basically with the cutscenes.
Sure.
So, but again, the way we're going to release this game is first it's going to come out on as an alpha, right? There's only the Tales mode, which would be the different Tales section. It won't come out first with the story mode. We're going to release an alpha first for PlayStation Plus users.
Sure.
So it's going to be So I don't know when the story mode will come out. I have to see because we're going to try and get this out, the alpha, by this spring.
Okay. And in the
We're
meantime,
trying.
you have Desert Ashes? Why am I suddenly blanking the name on it? It's not Desert Golf is a game. Your game is
Not
about
about golf.
No,
Yeah.
you've got a game on Steam right now.
Yeah, I mean, we did, yeah. Well, it's the same thing. It's going to be the Steam version, basically, on
Right.
Heater.
Oh,
It is
okay.
a-
Sure.
You know what's funny? On Steam version, if you look at it, it's got people actually liking it. Like the reviews are very positive on Steam. They are.
I'm not
Yeah.
surprised. You
No,
make
I'm-
video games that are fun to play.
I'm just saying, if you go on Eternity Child, it's like mostly horrific. So,
And what is the name of that game exactly? Because I'm suddenly blanking on it, like a dum-dum.
what, Eternity Child?
Yeah, no, Desert Ashes. It was Desert Ashes. I was exactly right. Every once in a while, I was second-guessing myself. Tell us about Desert Ashes if people are interested in seeing a game that's new that you have out right now on Steam.
No.
Come on! It looked to be in the vein of Mecho Wars. When you look at screenshots of it, it looks like a turn-based strategy game. Is that what it is?
Yeah. It is basically. It's actually it's a remake of Mecho Wars. Actually, it is.
Huh. There it is.
That's what it is. It was a prettier graphics, it was a better online system, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
And for people who don't know, Mecho Wars influenced by Advance Wars, influenced by Fire Emblem-y type stuff. Turn-based strategy, different units. Very fantastic. Your style, the visual style in your games, often seems like Dr. Seuss mixed with like a very interesting, troubled, Tim Burton-ish, horny teenager. That's how I mean that as a compliment.
I would say that. Oh, I completely did. What were we talking about?
Oh, we were just talking about Desert Ashes, your art style, and the style of art in your games in general.
Oh yeah. For that game, what's interesting also, you can level up and you'll get new perks and all that. But it's something people seem to see. I mean, at least on the PlayStation version, you're going to be free to play.
Oh, that's free to play as well. Huh? Interesting.
On PlayStation.
On PlayStation. On Steam, you gotta.
Not really risky. Not really risky. It's going to be quite simple. It's just going to be like, hey, you get to pay the online, a couple like a campaign, and then if you want to buy more campaigns, you buy more campaigns. It's really it's half free to play. Does that make any sense? It's more like, hey, we're giving you an episode. If you want more, buy them. So
Oh, sure.
I don't know if you tweak.
Yeah.
The online's free.
In general, free to play can be risky, but that specific type, which is almost like get the extended demo for free, but then from there, naturally, if you want more content, you would pay for it. That almost always goes over pretty well, I think. I hope.
Yeah, what was that? We couldn't be. It's really hard to make the. You can't really make that type entirely free to play. It's, you know, yeah, it's.
Yeah.
No, it's free to play. We just decided to make it free to play on PlayStation just because we wanted more people. We wanted to build up the online community more on PlayStation, so by offering them, loads of free levels. Why is it like the rare pin with a team that? Oh, I don't know who
Northy Tunes, probably David North, our old friend, asking, what is it like to develop with a team which is only online? And I think he means by that you're working with a team of people you only know over the internet.
I think I know who that is. Well, there's this guy who lives in Germany who's English he's kind of really annoying. I hope it's him. I hope it's not just American person. I'm pretty sure it's him. I think I know who this is.
Yeah, me too. I've got a guess.
How is it? It's not that convenient. It's sometimes I had it's not that convenient. It's better in person, but it does the job. Really, it is a lot better in person. But I once had an assistant actually. I did, right? That was I think like last year. So last year I had an assistant, right? And for long story short, my assistant quit saying I was a sociopath.
Okay. A social path or a sociopath? Socio. Got it. Evil. Yes.
No, I don't know. Maybe I made him work too hard. I made him drive me everywhere, and then I thought it'd be funny if he wore a shirt with his own face.
It would be funny. I don't know if as a boss, if you're allowed to dictate. Maybe you are.
I was kind of awful because then my goal was to try and make him famous.
I know people like that. Yeah, I've met a man or two who tried to make me famous in similar ways. Didn't always work out for me.
I just funny as a joke.
Is it someone you knew only on the internet, or was this an active, like, face-to-face assistant?
This is my assistant because he drove me places since I don't drive cars.
Oh, right. Huh. That sounds like a great job. I can't see why you would leave.
We just drive and get drunk and work on games. But yeah, basically that didn't go too well. It's not so much people who can work with the internet or not. I think when you work as an indie developer, you're working every day. You're just working every day. You can't expect normal hours. If you join that job, you can't expect normal hours anymore. That's the thing. You work for the time.
Yeah, it's more of a lifestyle than just a day job.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think some people just can't handle it.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. I did want to, before we move on, we have a little bit of time left. Not a ton, though. Imagination is the Only Escape was one of the games that put you on the map in terms of a name after Eternity's Child, which people heard about more for the infamy around the reaction to the review and whatnot. But Imagination is the Only Escape was still in the news on its own merits. I think it was in the Boston Globe here in the Massachusetts area. I read about it. Do you think that idea will ever come back? Because it's something that seemed to be quite the passion project for you. A game about a child in the midst of World War II dealing with his surroundings as the best he can.
There was one thing with that. So that title there, yeah, it's still actually in development. It is very slow development.
Yeah.
It is basically going to take the funds made off, these projects going to release on PlayStation and put that into that project. But it's taken a while. It is like at one point I tried to get associations interested in it. Like Holocaust Education Associations. And that didn't really work out. That didn't, people don't really understand what our media is. As people think Call of Duty and that didn't really work out. So it's basically it's a project where everybody kind of is like this towards it.
Really? But the press, the mainstream press anyway, really embraced it for a time. So if the mainstream press is anything like the video game press, I know that there's a big fear around writing around old news and then getting stigma for writing about something that's old unless you have something new to say about it. Don't touch it. I don't know if that's been... Because the game concept came to you, 6 years ago or something, or maybe longer ago.
I'm honestly kind of scared that somebody's going to release something like this before me. That's what I'm honestly the most scared of, I'd say.
Yeah. There have been some games in the ballpark, like Valiant Hearts was in the same kind of, but not exactly the same.
Yeah.
Certainly didn't look the same, didn't have the same story, same theme exactly.
And that's why I'm wanting to work with, and go see how it goes, with non-profits now that have, interesting messages, because I believe that video games could be next form where you can actually release, good games with messages, like Valiant Hearts, for example.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah, we've gotten to the point where those kinds of games are hopefully accepted and respected more often than not, as long as they're done well.
I went to the Game Awards, and they had a section of the Game Awards which was most important games or something at the award show now. Remember that award show thing? Yeah,
the Geoff Keighley. Yes.
Dorito guy. Hey, it wasn't that bad, that show.
It seemed good.
I didn't pay for it. It wasn't that bad.
I've never met him, but the people I know who know him tell me that his heart is really in the right place. And not unlike you, actually, he's had to struggle with, well, this is my passion. This is the reality of the business. How am I going to make these meet and not go broke? And he's done his best for that. And I thought,
Well, that's not me. I think he self-funded.
yeah, he did.
Self-funded a lot of that award show.
Yeah, that
So
speaks to the
it's
passion,
like
doesn't
you
it? Absolutely.
Yeah, that's why you have to get Dorito.
If that's who's going to pay the bills, as long as they don't have your vision hampered and you just end up doing a Doritos commercial, then I don't see the problem with it personally. It's me.
Yeah, I didn't really look that much into it. I didn't about the whole Doritos thing.
It was just a very
I don't
funny.
know what happened.
His eyelids are kind of heavy sometimes naturally, which makes him look bored. And there was a picture where he just looked really bored standing in front of Mountain Dew and Doritos, and people laughed because it spoke to like this boredom we all have with how companies that don't care at all about video games have lobbed onto video games hoping to cash in on this consumer market that they don't often respect. They just think, oh, if we shove junk food in, because they like video games, and video games are junk food for the brain or whatever, so they'll also like Mountain Dew and Doritos. But of course, that's not always the case. Video games are not always a junk food experience.
Well, no, I think most mainstream outlets just don't get it. Because you know what's funny at the Game Awards? Anytime somebody from video games came to host, to do their speech, right, for like 10 minutes, they had to mention about how, hey, I'm not a gamer, please accept me, for like 10 minutes each time. And I was just like, just get over it. I feel like the mainstream sometimes think this is a cult. They think that people are cold. I don't even like the term gamer, because to me everybody plays video games. You don't have to be called gamer. It's just like you play video games.
Well, whatever you do, don't write an article that says that, because you'll make a lot of people angry, apparently. But yeah, it's the term gamer, to me, a lot of people own it and have used it to kind of reverse the discrimination they felt like, or discrimination's maybe a little strong, but people saying, oh, you're a nerd, I don't like you because you like video games. Well, they took the label gamer to empower themselves and say, no, I'm an active person, part of a community that accepts me. But by doing that, then they shun people who are non-gamers, and it just kind of keeps the division going. The division is not anybody.
If you like films, for example, you don't call yourself a movieer.
I've said that, and then people say, well, there are people that claim to be movie buffs. I'm like, yeah, and when people come up to me and say, hi, I'm a movie buff, I usually think, why are you talking about yourself and labeling yourself and making this conversation about yourself before we've even got to going? I'd rather talk about things we can exchange information on and not just have it be about you and how you label yourself. That's how it sounds to me when people get so attached to these social labels.
Yeah, no, I was just saying about how the people who come from other industries need to stop being so scared about having to mention that. Like how Kiefer Sutherland was going on for like 5 minutes about how he doesn't play video games, and please accept me, and please don't throw shit at me.
Yeah, well, he is, what is he? He's in late 40s, early 50s. I can relate with him to a degree, because as the older I get, the more my tastes seem to deviate from the 18 to 35 demographic that a lot of video games cater to. So I'm like, I'm sorry, guys, I'm old. I don't understand a lot of the stuff you like these days. What's that?
What do you like now?
Well, what do I like now? I've been playing Pokemon Puzzle Challenge on the 3DS a lot. It's from the year 2000. I can't put it down. Such a good puzzle game. You can unlock all these Pokemon in it. Freaks me out how much I love it.
It doesn't really sound like you've grown older. It sounds like you just become younger. You're still playing Pokemon.
Well, that's the thing, yeah. And it's not that I am not like a kid. I'm not enough like... And then the demographic that scares people the most, I think, it's the demographic that Kiefer Sutherland is scared of. Maybe you're scared of them too. Is this like teenage to early 20s demographic that if they hate you, they will hate you so much. and they will get all their friends to hate you, and they will. One guy wanted to start a blog about how I'm the stupidest person in the world. He told me, and I can't remember why.
You should feel really special about that.
What's that?
You should feel really, really special about that.
Well, yeah, the fact that I did say to him, the fact that you think I'm important enough to talk about how I'm the worst person on the planet because, you know, I didn't enjoy Pokemon XY or whatever. I can't remember what he was mad about. But yeah, I, Keith or Sutherland, we're going to be held up on a pedestal, but there's a certain demographic that seems to be more likely to want to tear us apart and hate us. That's what we're scared of, Kiefer and I.
We're now comparing ourselves to Kiefer Sutherland. I
We
don't
are
think we're
the
that
same
big.
ballpark. Yeah, we're the Kiefer, you, and me. We're all kind of like the three amigos.
Yeah, we're on the same level of success, I'm sure.
Funnily enough, to a very small subset. You know, to like a good 10,000, maybe 100,000. I don't know. A fair amount of people would see it that way. They don't.
No,
watch
but if you look at what do you call it? Yeah, I don't know. People they're just too angry. I just don't pay attention to angry people anymore.
Well,
I don't.
Sure.
You know, I mean, because Sony once told me, if you look at Sony, when I announce, you know, basically games, like when I show games, I go check YouTube. YouTube comments are die, fucking die, I hate you, die, basically, right? Then you go on the PlayStation blog and everybody's like happy. And I talked to Sony, I was like, what's going on? How come everyone on YouTube wants you to die? And everyone on the PlayStation blog is happy. It's like, that's just YouTube. They just, anything we do, they just write really mean things and threaten to kill us. So
Yeah.
I just realized that it's what Sony says. That's why the PlayStation experience was so good, because there was people who were there just wanted to be there. You see what I mean? So they actually enjoyed it and they wanted to be there. They did, you know. While, say for example, a lot of people go to Sony booth at E3, probably hate Sony. They're probably just there. The Sony people, the staff is just half insulting. That's what they do. They go there and like, this is shit. You're shit. That's really what they do.
So by curating,
story.
yeah. What I gather, a PlayStation blog is going to attract people who are happy to be on a PlayStation site, whereas YouTube is going to attract anyone who just wants to be seen. And the easiest way to get your comment noticed is to be kind of mean noticed.
Exactly. So it's again, that's how come I noticed that I'm not, you know, focusing too much on negativity anymore. I can focus on constructive criticism, but when people are just like, I hate Luc Bernard, I want you to have his dick cut off, it's like, well, that's not nice. And, you know, why should I be paying attention to, you know, that?
Sure. Yeah.
When there's, I should pay attention to people who want more content for this and that. That's why I think it's just an issue when people start harassing, I would say.
Yeah, it certainly is. When it gets to the point where actual threats are being levied over the phone or whatnot, that's when you have to call the authorities. But just like any other situation, you just hopefully the law will handle it and can remain safe thanks to the FBI or whatnot.
Because this is a new industry, right? It's a new industry. So before rock stars used to be the famous ones, Abo was obsessed over. No, it's video game developers. It is. Now, do you remember what was in the news? How you have mainstream news reporting about Notch buying a house?
Yeah. It is a nice house.
I mean, it is a nice house, but why are you reporting about Notch buying a house in Beverly Hills? It's like,
well, I'm guessing
great for him.
The press they want to be a part of this thing, which they see as huge. They see that there's tons of money. They see there's tons of page views potentially there for them, but how do they grasp that? Kiefer Sutherland sees that video games are bigger than 24 at this point, but how does he break into that? And he knows that we're going to see him as an outsider, and I agree with you 100%. Announcing you're an outsider and you're sorry isn't the way to like win people over right away. Like, you know,
he should just come in and be like, this is awesome. He shouldn't even mention that he doesn't do things. He should just be enthusiastic. That's it. You don't have to, you know, we all know that Kiefer Sutherland isn't like in front of an MMO clicking away all day in his underwear. We all know that. But he's an actor paid to act, and as long as you do a good job, who cares?
Yeah, yeah,
You see
yeah.
what I mean?
Hopefully he'll get there. I wish he were here with us right now so we could give him these words of support. Sure, he's going to do a
Yeah.
great job. Ground Zeroes was pretty good, acting-wise.
He's what?
Oh, he was in. He's already been in that video game, Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes.
Yeah.
He's already done his acting.
I'm really bad at those. All I do is just run around and get myself killed. I don't like to wait. I just like to run around. And yeah, I'm really bad. I'm not patient.
Well,
I'm not.
you know,
And it's good thing it's not.
sorry, go ahead.
But I don't remember what I was saying.
Oh, that's all right. You did good. We only have 4 minutes left, gosh darn it. Do you have games of the year you want everyone to know about? Now, off the top of your head, are there games that you thought were particularly great? We're almost at the end of the year.
Dragon Age.
Dragon Age Inquisition?
Age.
Yeah,
I like it.
Some people say it's the best Dragon Age yet. Other people saying it felt more like a filler game. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I've never played the other ones.
Oh, is it
no.
the first Dragon Age? Huh.
Yeah, Dragon Age, and I like Destiny when I'm bored.
It does. From what I've
No.
played of Destiny, which hasn't been a whole lot, if you feel empty, it will meet you where you're at. You'll still feel empty, but you'll feel like you're doing something while you feel empty.
You know what I could I use Destiny as my meetings. Basically, we do our company meetings while playing Destiny because we don't have to think much while we're playing Destiny. We just talk about stuff. We're just running around and just shooting. It's literally I do like it for company meetings.
Huh. So as a little bit of a social lubricant, as something to take your mind off the self-consciousness as you just kind of meander around and do whatever. Huh. That makes a lot of sense.
There was that and Warframe, and I forgot what I like the crew, but not for the game part. I just like exploring the USA. I don't care about the game part. I'm just exploring. I'm just trying to explore the USA. Once I've explored the USA, I'll be done with it.
Huh?
That's it.
The crew.
It makes me want to go on a road trip. Yeah, driving game.
Yeah, big driving game. Is the whole United States in that game? I haven't played much of it myself.
Yeah, it's small, right? It's a smaller version, but yeah, the United States takes you like 4 hours to go from New York to LA. So I really like it. I just drive around and just exploring stuff. It makes me want to actually go out and do the same thing in real life.
Huh, cool. And you don't drive yet. Do you think you'll ever end up driving around the USA or some other country?
Yes, if I convince somebody to drive for me.
Is it because you don't like to drive, or is it because you like it so much when someone else drives?
How to drive? I can't drive, so I just drive like a Mario Kart and probably just crash the car within a few seconds.
Have you tried driving? Have you given it a shot?
When I was like 7 and I drove the car into the water.
Well, that was a tad early. I think you were a good 9-10 years jumping the gun. So I wouldn't hold it against yourself that you almost drove in. I'm glad you didn't drive in the water, by the way. But now, at the age you're at, you're almost 30. Is that right?
Yeah, 28. But I don't know. I'd rather just be a handicapped old man who hangs out at the Starbucks and gets yelled by other people for being too loud.
Well, if you're ever up here in Massachusetts, I teach people to drive now and again. Well, right outside of Boston. I don't want to announce exactly where I am so people don't start taking pictures of my house and posting them on Reddit.
Really? That's what you do? You actually help people drive?
Not usually, but it's happened. I'm trying to.
Like what you did actually as part-time or something.
No, it's something that I've ended up doing now and again for fun, for friends, family, sometimes relative strangers. And for you, Luke, this is the second time we've ever talked in this capacity, but we've been in each other's lives off and on since I started Destructoid, and I would certainly be comfortable helping you learn how to drive.
Why don't you come to any of the shows soon? Are you about to wrap up?
Yeah, we're about to wrap up. I should go to the shows. It's editor-in-chief. There's a lot of stuff I have to do each and every day. Hopefully I'll get all this Game of the Year stuff wrapped up this week, and then maybe I'll be freed up to go to GDC or CES or something. If so, I'd love to see it.
I don't know yet if I'm going to GDC because I don't know.
I've heard
It
mixed
depends
things
on
about
what you make.
it. Some people love it. Other people think it's a big. I think the term they used was circle jerk.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's just made to get other gigs and all that. I don't need anything like that.
Well, some event, someday, somewhere. Next time you're at a Sony thing, hopefully I can get out to that. It would be nice to see the
Yeah,
Sony people. See what
I
they've
tell
got
Sony
there.
if they don't get you a suite hotel and everything you want, I won't come.
But then I can't write about it because then I'll be bought off. I can't take any helpful favors from the game publishers, or else, jeez, then I'm corrupt.
God, I've seen a lot of people getting bought off there.
Yeah, it's a very corrupt industry. That's part of the fun. Well, Luke, as always, it's a pleasure. Never not been a pleasure. Double negative means it's always been a pleasure to talk to you. Desert Ashes, it's on Steam now. Death Tales is coming to PlayStation Vita and PlayStation TV and maybe other things pretty soon. They can look at you on Twitter. You've got a Twitter account. You've got a website too, I think, if I'm not incorrect.
It's cool, yes, but they have to find it themselves.
They should Google you on those things and other things.
No, don't Google me.
They should
Don't
Google you all
me.
night. It never ends. It's like a rabbit hole that never stops providing delicious candy
I know.
treats when you Google.
No, you just get worse and worse as you break the fire with each page.
As for me, I'm at TronNauts on Twitter. You can watch the show later, youtube.com/SupHolmesShow. Whole bunch of shows we've done already since returning after the Kickstarter. Mailing out the T-shirts. Jeez, I think we have like 80 T-shirts left to go. This is a pack of Sup Holmes T-shirts. 300 backers. Almost got them all taken care of. There's the picture of me. I've got a little, I'm like Mary Poppins on an umbrella. You can listen to the show later on iTunes and Libsyn. Just Google iTunes, Libsyn, Sup Holmes. It'll come up in your Google. And I guess that's about it for us. Thanks so much, everybody. Thanks, Luke.
I was supposed to say something?
Oh, that's it.